Let's skip the obvious part. You already know what Reels, Shorts, and TikToks do to your attention span. In 2026, people are so attached to their phones that watching a full movie without checking notifications feels like a spiritual discipline.
But a goldfish's attention span is not the scariest thing happening to you when you scroll short videos. That is just the surface layer. The real damage is deeper, quieter, and much harder to notice.
Once you see it, you understand why short-form content feels like it drains something out of you. Not just time, not just focus. It pulls energy out of your body, desire out of your mind, and life out of your actual day. And somewhere underneath all the excuses, you already know this. You know you were being played. That is why you clicked on this video. And if your attention span survives this one video, there is a real chance you will stop watching short content completely, because you will finally understand what is actually happening to you. So let's break it down. First question, what are you really watching? In line at the store, on the way to work, at work, in bed right after waking up, short content fills every empty crack in your life. The second there is silence, your hand reaches for the phone. And you are usually not watching some random clip with 120 views. You are watching the clips that won. The ones with hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of views. The ones people call viral. Funny word, isn't it? Viral. Like something that spreads through a body before the body even understands it is infected. So, why does a video go viral? Simple. It has to trigger an emotion fast. If it does not hit something inside you in the first seconds, you swipe. That means every viral clip is built around a reaction. Let's test it. You scroll and see a girl in a swimsuit, posing in polished lighting, eyes locked on the camera. What is that creating you?
Desire, lust, a cheap little spark with nowhere to go.
Next video, some 20-year-old kid leaning on a Lamborghini, acting like he has life figured out because he made money online. And your brain immediately starts talking. Why him? What does he have that I don't? He looks like an idiot. I'm smarter than this guy. Where is my Lamborghini? What is that emotion? Envy. Pure and simple. Next clip, two guys screaming at each other in traffic because one of them cut the other off. The camera is shaking, people are yelling, the comments are taking sides. What does it pull out of you? Anger, aggression, the need to see someone get humbled. So the center of viral content is emotion. Pride, anger, envy, lust. Then comes gluttony, because you cannot stop consuming it. And after that, laziness and apathy. Interesting how close this starts to look to the old list of deadly sins. Every short video gives you an emotion, which means we need to ask, what is an emotion? Emotion is not just a feeling floating around inside your head. Emotion is movement. Something happens, your brain releases chemicals, your body prepares, and the emotion pushes you toward action. Imagine someone suddenly grabs your phone out of your hand on the street. Your body reacts before you think. Adrenaline hits. You either freeze, chase them, or get ready to fight. Fear and aggression appear because your body is preparing you to do something. Trigger, emotion, action. That is the normal chain. But short content breaks that chain. Under the mask of videos, you are basically scrolling emotions.
15 seconds of lust turns into 20 seconds of rage. Rage turns into 10 seconds of envy. Envy turns into fake motivation. Fake motivation turns into fear that you are wasting your life.
And inside your brain, there is a whole chemical cocktail being poured nonstop. Dopamine, adrenaline, serotonin, cortisol, one spike after another. But the problem is, there is no action. Your body is reacting as if life is happening while you are literally lying on a couch moving one finger. That is why after an hour or two of scrolling, you feel strange. Not just tired, but dirty somehow. Empty, heavy, like you are behind in life, like you are weak, lazy, useless, even if nothing actually happened. That is the hangover from emotions you never lived. Your brain got flooded with signals from situations that were not yours, and now you are paying the bill. But the hangover is not the worst part. A hangover passes. The real question is what remains after it passes. Usually, one of two things remains. The first path is emotional atrophy. You spend so much time on fake emotional roller coasters that real emotions stop feeling sharp. And they are fake because this is not your life. You did not earn the money. You did not have the argument. You did not meet the girl. You did not take the risk. You just consumed the emotional shadow of someone else's reality. Over time, the link breaks. Trigger, emotion, action. You still want to change your life, but there is no fire. You think about starting. You imagine discipline. You imagine becoming stronger, richer, calmer, more respected. But nothing moves, because the emotional fuel has already been burned inside the feed. You do not act because you do not feel real enough pressure to act. The spark is gone. The second path is the opposite. You become hyper-emotional. Your brain gets addicted to the intensity. It loves the cocktail. It starts expecting life to feel like the feed. Fast, loud, dramatic, rewarding. So you carry those emotions into the real world. Now you are easy to irritate. Not only easy to anger, but easy to disappoint, easy to discourage, easy to pull into anxiety and drama. You try to start a business, learn a skill, build your body, fix your life, but there is no instant emotional reward, no quick dopamine, no applause after 30 seconds. So boredom appears. Frustration appears. The urge to quit appears. A brain trained on emotional stimulation starts looking for the same intensity in real life. And when real life does not provide it, the brain creates it through conflict, overthinking, drama, exaggerating problems, and emotional crashes. This is how you can scroll through your entire life without noticing. So, what do you do? How do you get off the short video needle? First, you need awareness. The beautiful thing about human consciousness is that we can use the mind instead of only being used by it. But if you do not use your mind consciously, it will run you subconsciously. Awareness means understanding what is happening while it is happening. You are not just watching videos, you are scrolling emotions. And if you keep scrolling emotions, you are slowly scrolling past your own life. Here is another piece most people miss. The quality of your life depends heavily on the emotions you repeatedly live in. If the emotions you consume every day are anger, envy, lust, comparison, and insecurity, it is naive to expect peace, joy, and deep satisfaction to magically appear in your real life. Awareness is only the start.
Cigarette packs cost over $15 in New York, and people still smoke.
Knowing something is harmful does not automatically free you from it, so you have to feed that awareness until it becomes impossible to ignore. The next time you open Shorts, Reels, or TikTok, catch yourself and say it honestly. Right now, I am about to scroll my emotions. Not relax, not take a break, not kill time. I am about to scroll my emotions. Second step, picture your dream life. What is in it? Travel, a house near the ocean, a beautiful woman with dark eyes, a body you are proud of, money, freedom, status. Put every toy in there. Now ask yourself, if you had all of that, would you still spend hours like a zombie inside short content?
Probably not.
That means short content is not only entertainment, it is escape. And the important question becomes, what are you escaping from? Because only the right question gives you the right answer. You have to dig out the reason, otherwise you will keep cutting the leaves while the root stays alive. Maybe you escape because you feel invisible. Maybe you feel behind. Maybe you're lonely. Maybe your life is boring because you have not built anything that makes you respect yourself.
For example, let's say you are not getting attention from women. What is the real reason? No money? No six-pack? Not enough style? Maybe those matter, but they are not the core. The core is often a lack of unconditional confidence. And the first solution is usually obvious. Start training. Lift heavy. Build discipline. Keep promises to yourself. The body is not the magic magnet. Confidence is. The body only helps you build it. Once you understand why you are running into the virtual world, then you can move to the third step, retraining your brain. The brain starts wanting whatever you feed it. If you train regularly, training becomes normal, and your brain begins to crave it. If you feed it short content every day, it will crave chaos, novelty, and constant stimulation. Short-form content creates the disease of the modern century, total scattered focus. It is a modern addiction, and do not be surprised when withdrawal comes. I remember doing an 11-day silent retreat a couple years ago. No phone, no talking, no entertainment. Silence. By the second day, I was reaching into my pocket like one of Pavlov's dogs, looking for a phone that was not even there. My hand moved before I decided anything. So how do you fight scattered focus at home? One lesson from that retreat stuck with me. Stop doing two things at once. And I mean in the smallest details. If you wash dishes, wash dishes. Do not listen to music, a podcast, or some video in the background. Just wash the dishes. If you eat, eat. If you walk, walk. Give your brain one reality at a time. At first, it feels painfully boring. Then, it becomes your default setting. You stop needing constant noise. You stop trying to stack stimulation on top of every normal action. You become able to be where you are.
Fourth step, and honestly, this could have been first. Do not keep short-form apps on your phone. Do not play games with the devil. Some of the smartest people alive are paid to figure out how to pull you into those apps and keep you there. If the app is not on your phone, you cannot open it in a weak moment. You cannot just check one clip after waking up. You cannot fall into the feed because you were bored for 6 seconds. But when you remove it, a vacuum appears. So what fills the vacuum? Yes, meditation can help. Sitting still, focusing on your breath, bringing attention back. It works. But let's be honest, at the beginning, it is boring as hell. For a brain used to constant stimulation, meditation alone may not be enough. So start reading. Reading is a brutal workout for focus because when you read, you cannot truly do anything else. You have to stay with one sentence, one thought, one idea. It is also an inner conversation with some of the strongest minds in history. The problem is school trained many people to hate books. We were forced to read things our minds were not ready to digest, then tested on them until reading felt like punishment. But the solution is simple. Read what actually interests you.
That is it. Below, I will leave a list of 25 books that can split your life into before and after. Why before and after? Because they are full of powerful ideas, but they are also interesting enough that you actually want to keep reading. When you read, you relearn how to consume information deeply. Real breakthroughs rarely come from a compressed summary. They come from time spent searching for an idea, sitting with it, turning it around, and letting it work on you. And once you learn to consume deeply, you can finally start producing. What should you produce in 2026? Produce what is missing. There is already too much information, too much content, too many clips. But the thing the internet is losing is trust. So how do you create trust? You speak from experience. You document what you have lived, learned, tested, and understood. Long educational YouTube videos are one way to do that. In other words, you build a brand, a personal brand. Even this video is my experience. Like everyone else, I scrolled reels, shorts, and all that garbage. And like you, I had that feeling that something about it was a scam. So I started digging, I started paying attention, and when the puzzle finally clicked, when I understood the real damage short content was doing, I stopped watching it. Then I documented that experience here. Now imagine this. Instead of spending 2.5 hours scrolling social media, you spend that time creating your own movie, your own documentary, your own long-term series. What would that give you in a year? What would it become in 5? Why do you think the richest people in the world go on podcasts and share their stories? It is not random. It builds trust, and trust is the foundation of every relationship. Remove trust from business, friendship, or love, and only ruins remain. The vacuum left by refusing to eat your own emotions through short content must be filled.
Otherwise, you will end up back on the couch, eyes dead, thumb moving, scrolling like a zombie again. So, here are your options. First, go to the gym or do more sport. Investing in yourself, especially your health, compounds over time. Second, if recording videos feels too hard, at least start writing your thoughts. The skill of writing develops the skill of thinking. Third, spend time with people, but not just to burn hours complaining. Sit with your best friend and say, "Bro, how do we make real money? How do we build something? What skill do we need? What if we meet 3 times a week to generate ideas instead of whining about life?"
There are plenty of options. And now you do not just understand why short content is harmful, you also have a strategy for pulling yourself out of the swamp.
But the choice, as always, is yours. And if you are ready to turn on God mode in your own life, subscribe to the channel.